The shirt I was going to put on was not exactly content friendly. You goofy goober. You little goofy goober. Oh no. Oh, I've awakened them.
Summer heat here has been incredibly stifling, and so much of our days have been just focused on finding ways to remain cool and keep our power levels as low as possible. So there's all these little moving pieces that we've been having to navigate and explore, and so many decisions we're making and getting more clarity on what our next move is to look like. Lots of really exciting things.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
In the midst of it all, I have now entered my luteal phase, and with that comes this really intense craving to internalize, go inward, slow down, cut off connections, relationships, and really just limit how much I am being perceived by the world. It makes showing up online feel a lot more daunting and challenging. And with all the extra pressures of being 2 weeks away from hosting my women's retreat, there's really not been a lot of downtime or opportunity to slow my pace. A heavy focus on increasing my capacity right now as we get projects done and finalize everything for the girls' arrival. And while that's beautiful, it also means I am having to be intentional to take a little more frequent naps every now and then and see how much of my work I can actually do from my bed. How much snuggles and support I can receive from our animal kin, and from the little bit the luteal tends to bring me into a more morose place within my mental world. Not necessarily depressed, but I feel the rawness and fragility of life far more intensely. It's really beautiful when you look at the metaphorical side of the death and rebirth cycle women go through on a monthly basis and how that aligns with the luteal phase. It's not shocking to me at all that I'm suddenly deeply aware of the fragility of life and the sadness that is existing all around me and the sadness that I'm yet to hold. At the same time, it's also been a continual practice of learning the art of leaning deeper into accepting and welcoming pleasure to eddy those places and wash over some of those harsh edges that just are so easy to grasp onto in this time. At nighttime, instead of this morning stack, I'll do the Root and Bones products, and then I'll do Kakadu Plum, followed by this Osea Dream Cream. I really love this now. It's a bioretinol, and then follow that up with their Advanced Eye Cream. This is such a good stack. Also, especially for my younger babes, make sure you're getting your neck and your chest with your skincare. Do not miss those two. You gonna come out from there? My camera battery died, so you missed the rest of the morning get ready, but I am getting ready to put my tennis shoes on and head out. I have a waxing appointment first, and then I'm going to drop some things off at Dagan's work for him that he forgot this morning, and then I'm going to run to the gym and try and get some kind of movement in, some type of cardio, maybe a little bit of lifting. My back injury is just still really inflamed. It's challenging. It's challenging. I'm trying to eat the rest of my chicken meatballs this morning. If you've been watching for a little bit, that's kind of been my staple breakfast recently, is making sure I'm having chicken meatballs or something like that in the morning. Eating the high protein in the morning, first thing in the morning, makes me want to gag still to this day. Like, no part of it is fun, no part of it feels good, no part of it I'm like, ugh. But I don't know if it's my age or what it is, but whenever I don't eat protein first thing in the morning like this, I will get like increased anxiety. I sometimes will like actually shake, like my hands will shake, and my blood sugar regulation and cortisol regulation is not optimal, which is why I started experimenting with pushing heavy protein first thing in the morning, and I have no issues. If I make myself eat it, if I force it, I'm fine, and I have pretty balanced energy levels for the rest of the day. So I make myself do it, don't enjoy it, but we do it anyway because it's good for us. So cheers, bottoms up. Alright, babies, I'm ready. Buck, do you want in? Do you want to come in before I go? Wax appointment has been finished, which means I just need to get my nails and eyelashes done before the retreats. and then we're good to go. So now we're off to Dagon. I am in fact becoming that bitch that travels with snacks. I am back from running all my errands, getting a sweat sesh in. I did some sauna time. That was all really fantastic. I just ate a whole bunch of organic cherries to take my Shilajit this morning. I usually take it in the morning when I'm eating breakfast, like with the rest of my supplements. But I forgot. I was on the move quite fast, so I forgot. So I took it now. We are in our final 2 weeks before this retreat happens, so there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of vendor calls, and I'm still working with clients during this time, so keeping up with clients and text messages. And during a period in my month where I usually like to narrow down communication and conversation, it's actually been the opposite. We've like escalated it exponentially, and it's very beautiful and very necessary, and I just want to be perceived less. Does anyone else feel this way? Like during luteal phase, I'm like acutely aware to how I am being perceived. Not even how I'm being perceived. I'm acutely aware that I am being perceived, and that people are making assumptions and stories based off of the perception they're gathering, and that just feels very like edgy and a little vulnerable. Whereas in all the other parts of my month and in my cycle, that doesn't really bother me. Another little reclamation I have been exploring internally through these days of summer has been that I have boobs. And that sounds ridiculous, but growing up in a cult within deep fundamentalist Christianity, there was so much shame on women in general, but women who just happened to have grown breasts and were trying to dress themselves in a way that would actually flatter their body. And growing up with purity culture and all of the fucked upness that came with those narratives, I've spent the vast majority of my life living trying to hide my body as much as possible, and specifically hiding my breasts and trying to find ways to dress myself where they looked smaller, they were not visible, because existing in my very feminine physical form felt like a threat or an invitation for unnecessary judgment and pressure. And maybe it's the fact that I'm getting older, maybe it's the fact that I've been in such a deeply secure, safe marriage for nearly 6 years now, about to celebrate our 6th wedding anniversary. But I just kind of had this moment this summer where I realized I'm really tired of not feeling like I have permission to exist in the body God gave me, to exist in the body I co-created, to exist in this physical form I chose for this lifetime. I'm really tired of not feeling and being able to express delight in this particular form simply because I enjoy it. Kind of triggered this chain reaction where I started actually looking for more artists and more creatives and more human beings online, specifically who had similar body types to me and had natural bigger chests, and really started letting myself watch their expression as almost a permission slip for myself. Like, oh, I see them in their expression, I see them enjoying their bodies, I see them embracing their features, and not once am I looking at them and passing some judgment story. None of that is going through my head as I watch them. I'm just watching them in awe of like, oh my God, you're stunning, and your expression is so radiant and beautiful, and you look like you enjoy yourself so much. And that was really a deep reflection for myself, and a mirroring where I realized, I'm not actually sure the way I express in the world right now would give anyone else the impression that I actually enjoyed myself that much, that I had so much fun in this physical form. And I do. I have a lot of fun in this physical form. And so I've just been giving myself like little tidbits of permission to run forward and try a new outfit or try a new style. And it's also been really fascinating to watch the patterns of stories that I was offered my familiar training kind of ripple through in the background. Just been really focusing on watching them pass like clouds in the sky. Like, oh, okay, that's a fascinating judgment, that's a fascinating fear, that's a fascinating trigger, wow, interesting. And letting it, seeing which ones dissipate on their own, like which ones aren't mine. I've stopped taking so much responsibility for triggers and stories that aren't mine in the first place. Not all stories and traumas and fears and pain points are yours to process just because they come up through your body. Some of the times they're just floating on the wind. And I don't have capacity for every story and every belief and every pain point my ancestors didn't have a chance to mold or navigate. I don't have capacity to be this continual vessel of reclamation for the lineage at all times. Now, am I doing it in most times? Yes, because there's certainly a difference, and there's certainly a point where their stories and pain points become ones you also choose to carry as a human being. And those are your responsibility. Those are the ones that really need your attention and care and focus. And so I guess just to kind of sum all this up, I've been letting myself sit a little bit longer in some of the triggers and sit a little bit longer in some of the stories and just see which ones stick, which ones stay, which ones hit that really deep, raw bit within myself. And the ones that don't, I'm like, I bless you, I honor you. If you come back, we'll look at you again. But for now, you're not mine. And the ones that do stick and do stay and do feel icky and like suffocating, those I lean into, and those I begin to process and navigate. I'm speaking to, honestly, younger versions of myself when I say this, because there were so many years in my life where I only interacted with my physical form, I only interacted with my heart, I only interacted with my intuition, my pain points, from this structured attempt to mitigate everything I disliked, or everything that felt wrong, or everything that felt out of alignment, or everything that felt too much or too intense or not aligned. And that burned me the fuck out. It burned me out so badly. And the whiplash, I see this constantly in clients who also have similar stories and often find me closer to the 10-year mark of their healing process. They hit burnout, and then they kind of blow up their lives. They blow up the growth they did have, because it just becomes too much. The body and the subconscious mind, the spirit, the soul, they don't know how to interact with us in this state of constant appraisal and judgment, and sense that they have to measure up to a certain degree of enoughness in order for us to love them, in order for us to be okay with them. That is my rant for today. I'm off. I'm gonna finish up some text messages. I need to respond to a few more people, finish up the projects for the retreat for today, and then I have a bunch of editing I need to do to get another video out. So